If you're a big fan of decorating with objects of meaning and with memory, you will definitely like this next idea. A gallery photo wall featuring all your ancestors. Black and white historical photos do have a place in our homes, according to my next guest. But how to keep the collection from looking museum-like and fuddy-duddy. Mallory Olliverson has a plan for that. It's so great to meet you. Great to have you.
Thank you.
And your design aesthetic is to combine old with new, which I love as well. How does this play out, do you feel, in a photo wall?
So I've always loved using antique pieces in my home, but it ends up looking a little bit museum-like, or like you're at grandma's house, which is not what we want here, right?
Right.
So by using an Ancestor wall, you can combine old and new pieces and create a really clean, fresh, and timeless look.
Well, it's beautiful. It really is. And it's a conversation starter for everybody who walks through the door. So I'm imagining as we set out to tackle this project, most people's photo supply will be a little bit low. How can we source good photos for this?
So the first step is head over to grandma's house. And I think this is the funnest part. Take the kids for a day and go talk to grandma. Get the stories about the people in the photos and learn about them. And then from there, not everyone has a huge archive of pictures available. So go to familysearch.org. That's a free account you can set up. And you can look at every ancestor's profile and look in their memory section. And in the memory section, you can find not only pictures from anyone and everyone who's posted it up there, but you can find the stories that accompany those pictures.
Well, teach me some tricks for printing those photos. They're not the best of quality, we know, which adds to the character, obviously, but any advice there?
So there's a couple things you want to do when printing, especially when you're using a combination of old photos and new photos like I did. With new photos, you want them to look like the old photos. So first is don't print on glossy paper. By printing on glossy paper, you lose kind of the matte effect that they had back in the day. And then you're also going to want to go to somewhere like Michael's or any craft store and get a more cream colored paper and print on that.
Just to soften it.
Yeah, it gives it a softer, more rustic look that the older pictures have.
Now, what about frames? That can also be tricky, blending old with new.
Yes, and I think this is what really intimidates everyone. So there's a couple things you want to consider. Every frame needs a family. So if you're mixing a lot of different colors like I did, golds, blacks, browns, you're going to want to use a mixture. So every brown frame has a friend. Every black frame has a friend. And then on top of that, I like to use mirrored frames because they reflect the colors of all the other frames.
Like here?
Yes. And they make it a more cohesive and polished look.
It does kind of tie it together with that subtle metallic, subtle sheen.
Yes, absolutely.
And I love that phrase, every frame needs a friend. That's a good rule of thumb for any type of gallery wall.
Right.
Okay, how would we go about hanging this? How would we go about planning and plotting this out?
So that's the fun part. So you're going to get a piece of paper like this. This is just from Target, a piece of craft paper. And I had a 3x4 space, so that's what I measured out. And I just lay it on the ground and I mess with all the frames and I move them around.
Until it looks just right.
The key with that though is you want to let it sit for a couple days. Because I usually wake up the next morning and I'm like, I hate how this looks now.
That doesn't work at all.
So you got to move it around.
What was I thinking?
Yeah, you got to move it around.
Past the cookie dough, I got to think about this a little bit longer.
So this was after a few days. I was set on this, and then I'll show you right here. You just trace the outline. Please excuse this picture of me in braces in my awkward phase of life.
I think we should celebrate this picture. I think it's fantastic. Don't we all have pictures like that?
We all have them, and mine's on TV now. So
well, I had to mow lawn on television, so we're even.
We're in it together. So it's really simple. It's basically just kindergarten skills. You just outline it, and you're good to go.
Can you have too many photos?
No, I don't think so. It depends on the wall you're working with. Generally, I say you want 75 to 80% of your wall covered, and you'll be good to go.
So fill it up.
Fill it up. By all means, use all the pictures.
And you mentioned the stories that sometimes come with these photographs.
So
being able to know and embody those as you design, I think makes a project like this all the more meaningful.
It's so much fun.
Well, thank you so much for showing us how beautiful collection. I mean, that's so fun to look over and see how you have mixed that old with new. It's a talent, it's an eye, and a style that you've mastered. I know that you curate this on your website as well.
Yes, so blossomhomegoods.com, that's where we sell all of our products, and we also just launched a design service tab, so we'll now be able to either design an Ancestor wall for you, redesign your living room, or help with a new construction project.
Fantastic. Mallory, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice job, nice job.